remain seated for a moment of silent prayers and reflection. Other stakeholders in the higher technical education sector. 48 hours ago, you received from the Chief Electoral Commissioner and the National Returning Officer the certificate of return, evidencing your excellencies at the June 24 elections. Since your resounding victory, Your Excellency, you have been a proud recipient of many congratulatory messages and courtesies, home and abroad. Today, Your Excellency, you'll receive another round of congratulatory courtesies, and this time from the higher education sector and the TVET sector. Without further ado, Your Excellency, permit me to now proceed with brief statements. With your gracious indulgence, Your Excellency, let me kindly invite for a statement on behalf of the Ministry of Higher and Technical Education.
Your Excellency, Chairman, Tertiary Education Commission, Chancellor of Public and Private Universities, Vice Director or Representative of the NCTVA, President of Heads of Technical and Vocational Institutions, colleagues from the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, on behalf of the Minister-designate and the entire staff of the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, I would like to appreciate and congratulate you for the animated campaign you conducted during the designated campaign period leading to the general elections, and consequently your resounding victory and re-election as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. The Ministry of Technical and Higher Education has two subsectors, namely the Higher and Technical and Vocational Education and Training subsectors. This was configured by you, His Excellency, in 2018, when you deemed it fit to unbundle the erstwhile Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, and instead created the aforementioned subsectors. Your Excellency, both subsectors are here today to congratulate you on your re-election into office as the President of this beautiful country, Sierra Leone, and to recommit continued support to deliver your vision to transform Sierra Leone. May I at this point respectfully ask the heads of the Professional Association of two subsectors to identify themselves. Professor Edwin J. Momo, Chairman, Conference of Vice Chancellors and Principals, Madam Martha Concilia Kanago, President of the Council of Heads of TVET Institutions. Thank you so very much, and back to you, Press Secretary. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Deputy Minister Aziz Kamara. May it now please a representative of the Council of Heads of Technical and Vocational Institutions to make a statement on behalf of the Council.
Your Excellency, Deputy Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our general membership and our textbook students, I want to profoundly congratulate you on this wonderful victory. May God grant you wisdom and direction to rule this country for another 5 years in peace. We applaud your unwavering dedication and commitment to the development of our beloved country. Your leadership has been instrumental in fostering unity, peace, and progress in Sierra Leone. we commend your tireless efforts in making our nation stand out among other nations. We want to express our profound gratitude to you for what you have done in this country in the last 5 years, especially for TVET and women of this country. The revival of TVET is now taking the country by a storm. As TVET institutions, we stand firmly in support of your vision for the country. We are confident that under your leadership, the TVET industry will thrive, offering opportunities for young people to acquire skills, economic growth, and international recognition. We know the determination of your government towards human capital development and the current moves around the world to make it become not only a reality, but effective, efficient, and sustainable. Your Excellency, sir, the current executive of the Council of Diverse Institutions are more than prepared and ready to change the narrative in the technical and vocational institutions in Sierra Leone. Considering the numerous challenges the sector currently faces, we believe that with the support and political will under this administration, it will change the education delivery narrative and make our dreams and aspirations for technical and vocational institutions become a reality. We express our utmost respect and admiration for your achievements, and we look forward to continuing our collaborative efforts to further advance the TVET industry in Sierra Leone. Your Excellency, sir, there are many things your government and the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education did for us in the last 5 years, especially the Skills Development Fund support to the private TVET, with which some of our members and TVET schools have been able to support communities across the country. In conclusion, Mr. President, I would like to assure you that the TVET organization or institutions will vigorously support your 5-point development agenda for Sierra Leone, especially with the provision of skills and jobs for young people. Once more, I say congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much for that statement on behalf of the Council. With the gracious indulgence of Your Excellency, let me now invite for statement on behalf of the Conference of Vice Chancellors and Principals.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, sir, please allow me to stand on the existing protocols and to state that I represent the Conference of Vice Chancellors and Principals, and my colleagues are here, and we are always grateful to share the room with you, and it's always been a pleasure. And I'll crave kindly that my colleagues will just rise to the official recognition quickly. Just rise. Thank you very much. I didn't ask, I actually asked the Chancellors to rise because that's not my domain at all. But you've been so gracious to do that for us. I know your turn is right after me. Your Excellency, Mr. President, sir, we are here today to congratulate you for your resounding victory in the last conducted elections, and to pledge your support, continued support for a successful 5-year term that you now face. In your first term, Your Excellency, sir, your success in providing free quality education, especially at the basic and senior secondary school level, created quite a good lot of opportunities for us in the higher education institutions. That said, it also posed for us huge challenges, especially when it came to having facilities and the capacity to bear the onslaught of those who came from the high school. We were prepared, but again, we were overburdened because of the huge numbers. That was a success for us. In your second term, Your Excellency, sir, we realized that you are focusing on feeding your people, which may seem to have nothing to do with higher education. But this view will be totally wrong, as we believe that higher education institutions will have a vital role to play. Each institution must identify with the agricultural sector by way of policy formulation, production, extension services, value addition, storage, marketing. We had had a couple of engagements with the Ministry of Agriculture on this as universities across Sierra Leone. Secondly, we should be now poised to providing training for the youth at the middle level manpower level by creating innovation hubs, industrial partnerships, and apprenticeship programs. So this calls for rethinking higher education expansion and financing models. And I'm sure we all agree with me, Your Excellency, that the student loan scheme being one of them is one way that we have now been looking at tackling financing higher education. We do think that the establishment of an education trust fund could be one possible way of tackling the huge difficulties we are having in financing higher education. We're also thinking of having an open system so that the huge numbers who may not be able to darken the four walls of a university can stay anywhere in this country and have their education. This calls for two urgent actions that the higher education is poised to engage in with your government at this time. We are ready to engage with the Ministry of Agriculture at both the technical and operational levels. And if I'll give you an example, we may think that the University of Sierra Leone may not be in agriculture, but they produce the engineers, they produce the policymakers in economics. Other institutions will also want to bring to the table all of the expertise in making your dream come true. We also, as a matter of urgency, think that we should be called to the table with the Ministry of Finance to review the 2018 Memorandum of Understanding to be more practical in our implementation. These discussions are now underway and we have started engaging the Ministry of Finance. So on behalf of my colleagues against the Conference of Vice-Chancellors and Principals of universities, polytechnics and colleges, both public and private, I must state, who are now in the room, again congratulate you at your re-election to this high office and to thank you so profusely, sir, Your Excellency, for accepting to serve your people in this capacity, because to us it's our call to service. And so we pray that God Almighty, and in your most liked pronouncement, Subhanahu wa ta'ala, will continue to provide you with His divine wisdom, and above all, His grace to be able to discharge the duty. Thank you again, and congratulations. May God continue to bless you.
As I thank the Conference of Vice-Chancellors and Principals for the statement, I now respectfully invite the Chancellor's representative to make a statement.
My colleagues, please stand, Chancellors of various universities. Thank you very much. Excellency, sir, on behalf of my colleagues, I say congratulations for your resounding victory. You had made exemplary performance, especially in the free education sector. which led to us decorating you and your wife, both University of Sierra Leone and Yala University, in recognition of what the successes you made during your first term. We have gone through your manifesto for the second term, and we are positioned to actually facilitate Sierra Leone, the agricultural sector, in the agricultural sector, and also the human capital development. As chancellors, we are the head of the institutions and chairman of our various courts. We assure you that we will align our policies to be in tandem with your aspirations. Once again, I say thank you on behalf of my colleagues, and may God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Givao, for the statement. I will now invite representative of the National Council for Technical, Vocational and Other Academic Awards to make a statement.
Good afternoon. Your Excellency, permit me to stand on the existing protocols. On behalf of the Council, we congratulate you to becoming the Vice President. Thank you, Your Excellency, for your activity in the last 5 years in the Tibet sectors. The Tibet sectors, for your last 5 years, it's resulted in the creation of decent jobs, entrepreneurs, opportunity for our youth. Your Excellency, under your leadership, you have strengthened your Tibet sector to become demand-driven modes of livelihood. Your Excellency, the Tibet mission to spearhead your development process in feeding Sierra Leone. We are also engaged in involving private sector to create programs, organized farming, fish farming, and all agricultural programs that will enhance development. Your Excellency, we have no doubt in your government to increase the support that will create decent job for our youth. The Tibet is the way forward. Education is the key, but Tibet is the master key for development. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I call on the representative of the Tertiary Education Commission to make a statement.
Mr. President, I stand on existing protocols. I give you greetings from the Commission, and I want to join my colleagues in congratulating you on your resounding victory. As the agency charged with the responsibility to monitor and regulate the tertiary education sector, I want to pledge your support and also to assure you that we will do all in our powers to ensure that you leave behind an enduring legacy as we strive to make our nation inclusive. In this regard, I want to thank you for listening and pray that Allah will give you the wisdom and fortitude to forge ahead in developing our nation. Thank you.
I thank previous speakers for quite an array of congratulatory messages. May it now most graciously please Your Excellency to deliver a response.
Let's sit down, please. The Deputy Minister and other ministers present here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I accept with great honor your congratulatory message and a pledge of total commitment to the education sector. I'm very pleased to receive you this afternoon, because this is the sector we have chosen as the flagship, and all the successes we have been able to register are as a result of your own commitment too. I lead and you follow. And when you follow with commitment, that is why we are where we are as far as education is concerned. Next week, there is a Human Capital Development Summit in Tanzania. I wanted to skip that, but everybody said you should be the last person to skip this summit. So I am going to attend that summit. And this again is a recognition of the great work that we have all done. Somebody just said, Professor Agali, that I should leave an enduring legacy. The qualifying word there is enduring. Anybody can leave a legacy. We all do, but some of them don't even survive a day or week. What we want to do as a nation is not even a legacy. We all know that Sierra Leone was a power to reckon with intellectually around the world. That was the source of our power, a very small nation. Soft power, you may call it. But that is why we are renowned around the world. And we can regain that position. Not through arms. We cannot be the United States of America or Russia that can boast of nuclear arms and ammunition. Well, we can boast of the fact that we will produce brains that will lead the world. And my leadership is meant to inspire us as a nation. That is where the enduring factor comes in, so that we aspire again to that position of leadership, intellectual leadership, not only in Africa, but around the world. We are also touted as the most brainy people in Africa, Sierra Leoneans. But why are we not leading? That is a question that we can all answer. And I'm happy to have this crop of people sitting before me. You provide knowledge, you produce new knowledge, and share it. So that is a question we should all answer. Why are we not leading if we are the smartest people in Africa? I want to inspire us. This is not my project. This is our project. And I'm more than convinced that we can lead if we all put our hands on deck. Today, Sierra Leone is now recognized as having made the greatest efforts towards education in the past 5 years by the United Nations, by UNESCO, and many others. What I want us to do is now embrace this as a nation, especially this sector, so that we can take it to another height, higher than where we are at this moment. And I know we can do it. And all I'm trying to do is to inspire us all to take that task to the next level. When I was called upon to co-chair the summit on education, I was quite astounded. And I asked, why have you chosen one of the least developed countries in the world? They said, it is your level of commitment. And we want you to co-chair with the United Nations Secretary General. That is no mean feat, as you can all see. What I am trying to do is to take us back to the world map, where we have been absent, where the stigmas of the past have taken us off that list. Today, we have a seat on the United Nations Security Council, non-permanent category. And we got 188 votes out of 192. That is an outstanding commitment, a show of respect and our standing in the international world. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you come to congratulate me and to pledge your support, I want to throw this challenge to us all. I can only be here for another 5 years in this position. I pray God that I am around and I may join you in the classroom. I love it. I find it difficult to teach because the talking is a problem for me. But I love it because you keep learning. When you are teaching, you are learning all the time. I taught for 3 months, and I learned quite a lot than I even did when I was in school, because I was challenged. And if you have smart kids, as you all know, they even challenge you further. And I tell them all the time, I say, with the technologies that are available today, really classrooms are now meant for debates. Yes, because the kids, they are smart and hardworking. They can do quite a lot of research with those instruments, and sometimes, ask very critical questions that that a lecturer that is not very witty and deep in knowledge will find difficult. But that is where, again, I find very easy. Nobody should claim monopoly over information and ideas today. The students can be quite useful in generating ideas for research, because sometimes some of the questions they ask may seem dumb, but they are quite inquisitive and can actually take you to new frontiers. So the classroom is a very interesting place today than it was before, because even the teacher now cannot just speak with such authority. When you have kids that are smart with their technologies, they can actually put you on the edge. That is the beauty. But again, we have to let them use that for that purpose, not just social media, or do the other things. There's so much. And what I want you to do now is, a lot has been happening in the basic and senior secondary sector. And the eruption is beginning to show. There is a huge surge towards your end, the tertiary education and TVET. We should be able to take in everybody that comes in using different means. That is where you must get your heads around that. A lot has happened and a lot more people are coming. And as I stand here, I feel vindicated by the fact that even in the last MPSC, the class did very well, extremely well. I took the challenge. A lot of people said, "We have to get another land." Now the girls have taken the lead, and they are leading way ahead of the boys at that level. So these are all challenges, and of course I heard that at Tobe College you had more girls applying for engineering than at any other time in the nearly 200 years of that university. That is not coincidence. It is as a result of policies. So I have challenged you and you have not matched my challenge. You have not responded. I wanted you to come up with a strategy as to how you were going to respond to the new direction. We must revolutionize education. I talk about fit for purpose education all the time because what we did in school is not what the kids should be doing today in school. So for us to put them in that pole position, we must also think critically. And that is challenging for all of you. But I know challenges are meant to be surmounted, especially in the intellectual realm. So as you come to congratulate me and pledge your commitment, I'm most pleased to say that education is not just a flagship policy program of this government, but a passion that has so much to deliver, a passion that will give a hope, that will give us a future that is hopeful for our children. So thank you very much, and I want us to engage further as the number of kids coming from the basic and senior secondary education coming to your end is getting bigger and bigger, and I want you to bring out practical solutions as to how you are going to take in those without us getting them despondent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Dividends were experienced.